To North Queensland now, where the usually laid-back community of Mission Beach has been divided by shoot-to-kill orders against marauding marsupials. Wallabies have always had a place in the coastal village, but recently their numbers have jumped, threatening crops, gardens and the safety of motorists. Jessica Nairn reports.
Mission Beach is a pocket of paradise. Where life tends to run slower, locals enjoy a laid-back lifestyle and tourists come to immerse themselves in a tropical retreat. But among the quiet streets and homes of the seaside town, trouble is brewing. And despite the cute face, it's causing big divisions in the close-knit community.
I fear that the population is going to reach a point where the resources cannot sustain the population, and the inevitable outcome will be death by starvation.
There is nowhere else in far north Queensland where you can go and drive around a suburb and see wallabies and see a joey poking its little nose out of mum's pouch.
Wallabies have always shared Mission Beach with the locals, but over the past 12 months, their population has exploded.
We'll probably see 100 just here where we are in any one time. Down the road you see quite a few more.
Ian Barnes runs a banana farm just outside of town. He says the wallabies have caused thousands of dollars in damage to his banana plantations.
When they're first planted, the first crop's always close to the ground. So probably last year they're probably 1,000 bunches. And in dollar terms, by the time you use the bag as well, they rip the bag apart. It's probably $25,000 in fruit.
His farm was badly damaged in Cyclone Yazi. For 2 years, he's been fighting his way back to recovery. He says this financial blow could tip him over the edge.
As you know, farming's hard enough as it is, so when you get something like this come along, it really makes it hard. You just don't know what to do.
The booming wallaby population is hurting rural business, and it's spilling over into the town, where it's rare to see a house without a wallaby nearby.
We've had people's lawns and gardens wrecked, and it's become quite a safety issue for motorists as well, where a large number of wallabies are getting hit on the roads.
There's been so much land subdivided and cleared in Mission Beach, but not sold. So we've now got these wide green spaces, and it's ideal for wallabies, but the numbers are simply increasing beyond what is sustainable.
On the rural properties where they've existed for years, then the grass has reduced, and there's also been some culling on those rural properties, which I think has caused the wallabies to flee from that area and go into the urban areas.
The state government has issued 4 damage mitigation permits to landholders in the area, and hundreds of animals have been killed.
It is inhumane. We are not allowed to do this with domestic animals, but we're allowed to do this with our native wildlife.
Tanya Jones runs the town's wildlife shelter. She says she's been inundated with orphaned joeys since culling began.
But all of a sudden, we had 45 joeys running around the suburb without a mother. So we knew immediately that there was something wrong.
The shelter's been leading a campaign to stop the culling in favour of non-lethal methods.
If we go out and we tranquilise the alpha males, we take them to the vet and we actually sterilise them. We put them back the next day. They are literally shooting blanks for the next 10 years.
I think effective control measures in the future might be able to come from a wide variety of tools. But the fact of the matter is, at the moment, the DMPs are the most practical and effective way of reducing wallaby numbers.
I don't like shooting them, but if someone else has got a better option out there, I really don't know. I need to get rid of them somehow.
The wallabies aren't just causing divisions locally, but at a state level too. The government wants the council to apply for a permit to start its own cull.
Well, I'd like to think that the council would consider playing a role in the control of wallaby numbers, simply from the point of view that the wallabies are in the urban and residential areas of Mission Beach. And from the Minister for the Environment, I've got a clear indication that his department is willing to work cooperatively with the council.
The control of native wildlife is a responsibility of Queensland Parks and Wildlife. And we aren't in a position to assess that. We haven't got the tools to do it, and we certainly haven't got the money to do it. And I do not accept that it's appropriate for the state government, when the problem's one that they can't think of the solution to just say, blame the council.
If there's one thing that is agreed, it's that the current situation is untenable for the locals and for the wallabies.
We would love to help them. We will help them. There are so many alternatives other than shooting their heads off.
Oh, I like the little creatures too, but when it impacts on my livelihood, it makes it a bit harder to look at them as nice little creatures.